welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be putting together my potting mix that I use for all of my houseplants, tropical, aroid, succulent, but I'm just going to show you my potting mix that I use for all of my houseplants basically. And I'm also going to be repotting my Monstera Delicousa that I put into this Miracle-Gro soil mix that is completely not aerated, so I'm going to be doing that. So stay tuned for that. Already, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer that this potting mix is just what I use. It's not going to work for everyone, and obviously you're going to have to put your own twist on it to make it work for you and your climate. I'm not going to make this video too large for you guys because there's two parts to it: mixing my soil and repotting my Monstera Delicousa. So first, let's just say that I'm just going to be using this random spoon bobby pin that I use for all of my houseplants, and I'm also going to be using this random bowl. It just helps when I mix it. It just helps things from flying out, and I can see through it where areas that I didn't mix and stuff like that. Soil mix, I'm just going to be using regular Miracle-Gro soil, and I know that most people are gonna start attacking me like, Miracle-Gro, oh my god, pest contraption and everything, but the thing is that it works for me, and I'm telling you right now, if it doesn't work for you, just go find other soil mixes like black gold and all that stuff, and I'm not really restricting you to only Miracle-Gro. Last ingredient I use is perlite, and this is just a Miracle-Gro perlite, and so it's not like other perlites, it's just very fine grained. It's not too chunky or anything. Sorry about the brightness, but I think you can see. Let me get this back in. Yes. I have my bowl with me right here, and let's start mixing. And I'm not going to tell you the ratios just right now, but I'm just going to just tell you as I do it, so just stay tuned for when I go. For my potting mix, of Miracle-Gro, I'm just going to go into the potting soil, and I just take some of it, and I'm just going to show you what Miracle-Gro basically is. It's just basically grinded mulch with some cocoa peat and some tiny bit of perlite, and if you want, you can always go read the description of what it says, because this is just what I see after I look at it. And I think that many other brands like Green, they don't have perlite, cocoa peat, so I wouldn't recommend, because Green doesn't have any perlite whatsoever, and I highly don't recommend those brands. So there I just added 1 spoon or 1 part of Miracle-Gro, and I'm just going to add another part because the pot is actually pretty big. So here's another part of Miracle-Gro, so 2 parts so far. 3 parts. 4 parts. And that looks about enough. You're going to be surprised about the amount of perlite I use. So basically, I'm just going to take the perlite and I'm going to eyeball it and also tell you it at the same time. So here's 1 part perlite. Let's mix that up. So this is like how much perlite I would use for a fern. Yeah, so it's just kind of chunky like that, but at the same time, for a fern, I would use 1 part perlite to 4 parts soil. This is the potting, the ratio that I use for my Monstera Delicousa is the same ratio. Perlite to soil, same ratio. So for my aroids, I use a lot of perlite. So, because they are epiphytic in the wild, so they really like something super, super duper airy that they can actually cling into. Here's another part perlite. And mix that in. And I would say that if you wanted to, you could definitely stop at this point. But, I just want to add 1 more part. Add some more perlite. Right. This looks about right, but I don't want to see the soil. So I'm going to add a little more. And I'm telling you, I'm not a professional soil mixer by any means. So here, I'm just going to add another part of perlite. And don't breathe perlite air. So this is what I like with my perlite. I don't even like to see the soil. Like, I would much rather use plain cocoa peat instead of the soil, but that's what I use, so that's what I'm gonna use. So yeah, I'm just gonna mix it up like this, and that's what. And make sure that every time that you use the soil, you mix it up thoroughly before you do. Just because the perlite tends to sink to the bottom or rise to the top or any other way. So yeah. If you're potting up like a succulent or a cacti, I would definitely go in and add another part of perlite as well. Finally done mixing the soil, now we can go pot up the Delicousa. This guy's pushing out a lot of growth right now, so it's not even spring yet, and there's some hole marks right there if you can see, hole stretch marks. So yeah, let's get potting him. So I'm on the ground right now, and sorry because of the lighting situation. It's just how it's gonna have to be for a little bit. So I'm going to first start by taking him out of his pot, and I watered him so he's not dehydrated at all. Alright, got him out. He's not root bound particularly at all, and but I'm just gonna have to mess up the soil a little bit. Just going to remove it. And FYI, this is falling onto this cloth. I'm not getting the carpet dirty. This was like the most I was able to take off of him, just because he kind of held onto the soil in the middle. And I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the soil I mixed versus the soil that I used to use, side by side. Let me show you. Sorry, my hands are like that, but yeah. That's the beautiful difference. And now let's pot them up. So first, whenever I do my pottings, let me switch angles real quick. So bad news. So basically, I thought I was recording my repotting, but I did not. But luckily I didn't put the plant in yet, and all I did was just add some of that potting mix at the bottom. Let's give it a mix. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit more perlite at the bottom, just because the perlite at the bottom tends to rise to the top. So add a little bit of perlite at the bottom, and I just leave that at the bottom. And then I take my Delicousa, or any other plant you have, of course. It grew beautiful roots. I love this guy. I'm just gonna place him inside of the pot. And it's now sitting in the pot. And all I'm gonna do is go back onto it and top fill. I wish I could show you properly, but here, this is the best I could do. Okay, that's getting heavy. So basically, just do that. I'll just stick with you while I do that because my hands are super duper dirty. I don't want to be touching the screen with that. So yeah, I have him repotted. He's nice and airy now. As you can see like a bunch of perlite, and I do have some soil left over that I'll repot a cactus with, and I'll add a little more perlite as well. So yeah, I have him in there. Now I'm gonna water him in. Okay, that was long. And the final step is take your plant and then get water. This is rainwater that I collected like 4 days ago. Sorry, I'm breathing so much. Why am I apologizing for breathing? I don't know. I watered it only yesterday, so I'm not gonna water it too much, just a little splash. Like that. And as you can see, it's very fast draining. It's draining out already, and I'm pretty sure this Delicousa is gonna love this soil. And yeah, That's it for this week's video on me repotting my Monstera Delicousa and making it my own little potting mix. And if you guys don't really like my potting mix, then you could put your own twists and turns on it. You don't have to take everything word for word that I just said. This is just something I do. It's not something I'm telling you to do or anything like that to keep your plants alive. And don't forget that I post every Saturday and Tuesday. To stay tuned for those, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.